Anyway, this bit is the fun bit. It's the star ingredient of the week. And this week, listeners or viewers or whatever, every week we pick a star ingredient and we talk about it. And because Dom's here, it's going to be...
Puff pastry!
Well, pastry in general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No!
Just pastry. Just pastry. So we're going to be talking about pastry because it is obviously your forte.
It is.
So have you brought in a dish?
I have brought in a dish.
Yeah?
Do you want me to go over there and get it?
I think we should talk about pastry a little bit first.
Yes,
okay.
Let's talk about pastry. One of those things that so many people say, I can't make pastry. What are your thoughts on that? Can you make pastry?
Yes,
or do you?
I can.
Are you wedded to?
No. Well, look, shop bought pastry is amazing stuff, and we are very lucky. What I've discovered in this country is that every supermarket not only sells branded pastry, but also sells their own, which you can find in the chiller aisle with the butter. This is not the case in the rest of the world.
Mainly America.
Mainly America, but yeah, they just don't have it.
No.
Which is weird because you would have thought everyone loves pastry.
Yeah.
It's a very strange thing. Actually, in Spain, they have a lot of pastries as well. So, and it's very difficult because pastry is pasta in Spain, and so it is difficult when you're asking for pasta.
And most of the puff pastry and short crust is vegan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Loads of it.
Absolutely. And you can get all kinds of pastries here in the UK, which is really lucky. So that we are really lucky that we have that. But it is so simple to make. And you can make it in a machine thing.
RoboCoupe or a Magimix.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A food processor.
Can make it in. I'm just naming brands.
Yeah. And,
KitchenAid.
So and it is so simple. And even I make a really mean, even though I say so myself, rough puff, which is so good. Just frozen grated butter, and just
that, and it makes puff pastry.
It's
just
incredible.
Great frozen butter.
Still do the folding.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it's very rough.
Yeah, very well. Just melted on the ship.
Melted butter.
But it is easy to make, and I think more people should learn. It's like making bread, isn't it? It's like you just learn to do it.
But it does seem to be one of those things that so many people just kind of go, oh no,
the fear of God.
I can't do pastry. I don't do pastry.
But I think there is like a lot of parts to it, isn't there? It's like if you try to make your own phyllo, it's very tricky because you have to get
who
it.
would do that?
Well, psychopaths.
Yeah.
But like when I make a pie, I made a pie pastry the other day, and it was just basically flour, egg, and then butter, and then just put water in it until it came together.
The most basic ingredient.
You're like, oh, is that it? And you put it in the fridge, roll it, and then it's done. It was very easy. But
in that respect, I have never made pasta before.
No?
So it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You just think, so there's something in my mind that's blocking me, but it's the same ingredient.
Yeah. No. But I never make pasta if I'm just going to eat pasta for a meal. But if I'm doing it for fanciness, then I might do it. But we've made pasta at my studio. Have we done pasta together?
No, we haven't.
No,
but I do. I mean, I feel when I make pasta, it's more sort of for an occasion or for like a fun thing. We've done like a family thing where we've made a load of pasta, all sat around the table, or like some lovely rustic Italian family, and all make tortellini together and then all eat it, and that's a lovely exercise.
And I guess the thing about pastry is that you don't even have to do the rolling out. Like it's so simple. It's just so basic. It's 3 basic ingredients and so easy. And I think and pie. You get pie.
Yeah. Hey, here's a thought. What do you think of pies that are just the lid?
Oh.
Yeah, that irks me.
I don't believe in that. Hold on a second. No, I think a pie is a pie if you call it a pie. I don't think it needs pastry. It doesn't need any pastry. A cottage pie and a shepherd's pie do not have pastry.
Oh, no, that's true.
And they are both pies. And I think if you want to hold it in your hand, it needs to have pastry top and bottom. Or not even that, really.
No.
Just bottom.
Mince pie.
Or a pasty. So I don't think that it has to be pastry top and bottom. I'm sure. Do you know? My thing is that there are no rules in the kitchen, and I just can't abide that. But I do understand that people have a pride.
No, I wouldn't say it has to, but just sometimes, like if I've got a pie in a pub. This is a stew with a lid. That's not.
They put it in those little enamel pots, and then they just stick the lid on top. We should do it for big events.
I remember you saying that you would literally bake So Martyn, doing big events, you would bake the puff pastry discs separately and then drop them on top.
But do you know, if you've got a big if you've got a big family meal, make a stew, roll out the pastry, cook the pastry separately, pop it on top when it goes to table. It's the smashing into the pastry that people love.
Yeah, I guess I like that kind of when you get the soggy pastry underneath.
This is why we need to talk about soggy bottoms, because I love a soggy bottom.
Have you got one?
Yeah, I have one and I love them.
Aside from that, each week when we choose an ingredient, one of us brings something, and then we understand that you have brought with you something.
Yeah.
Something.
And Dom's going to go and get it.
Go on, Dom.
So we'll play some music.
Footsteps.
So this is how they come out of the oven upside down, right?
They look amazing. Shiny, egg wash.
Scored it.
So one of the things I love about puff pastry is that it can make anything look fancy, a little bit like French and gorgeous.
Yeah.
But actually, it's ridiculously cheap. So the idea is they come out of the oven like this, and you can just flip it over. You should just be able to pick it up and flip it over, and there's your kind of caramelized shallot.
Is that the viral sensation?
This is the one, isn't it?
Can we put the music in the background?
And it really does look absolutely beautiful. And there's something about, I think, the fact that it has been baked on a completely flat tray, and it's got that almost like a it reminds me of is like a pressed flowers or something. You know what I mean? Isn't it? That kind of.
But I think the thing that I didn't say earlier was this is so approachable. When you think of a tartatan, everyone kind of gets scared because it's got caramels and you have to. Do you cook the apples first? Do you what do you do? But with this, it's literally chuck it on a tray, put some pastry on. Anyone can do it.
Yeah, completely. It's so accessible.
I'm just going to eat. So here, what Dominic in the kitchen has prepared us is a wonderful upside-down shallot piece of puff pastry. He's used what I would describe as a boursin. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's layers of boursin, some shallots which are just halved, and then it's just nice and caramelized with some thyme.
Yeah.
And what's the little sprinkles?
Oh, salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. And a little bit of chili or something. What's this bit here?
It's salt and peppery, the Cornish sea salt one, which is 1 salt, 4 peppers.
Very good.
So good.
Love Cornish sea salt.
It
Shout out to
reminds me-
Cornish sea salt.
Always reminds me of Gennaro Contaldo, that Cornish sea salt, because he always says, nice bit of salt, nice bit of peppery.
Yeah. So obviously imagine it warm and crispy.
It's lovely cold, though.
I tell you what, it's absolutely divine. It'd be so gorgeous, like in a picnic or something like that.
Yeah. And that on a bit of toast. That's
And you
another
say
one.
this is like more than 24 hours since you made it, and you wouldn't, it doesn't feel old. It feels delish. We've brought some pastry things too, haven't we?
Have you?
Yeah. So what I've done is thinking along the lines of how I think pastry is a great way of using up leftovers.
Yes.
This is a little puff pastry pie filled with some leftover potato dauphinoise from a meal that we had, and so I literally just put the pastry. I forgot what the word was.
I thought you got stuck.
The other day, I'm 51. The other day, I couldn't remember what hot water bottle was, and I was looking at it. And just going, "What's it called?"
Yeah.
And my wife says, "Hot water bottle." I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh.
And you never
No, it
thought
does
you'd
worry
get
me.
there.
No,
but
I genuinely thought, is this the?
Don't worry about it. You got there in the end, though,
slope?
didn't you? You didn't take an aubergine to bed with you instead. Then I'll worry.
I don't know.
It's so cool.
Right, look, I was just going to clean my knife. So some leftover potato dauphinoise, packed it as tightly as I could into the pie, and then cooked it really low and slow.
I tell you what, if you put this on social media, someone would definitely go, "Who has leftover dauphinoise potato?"
I so get irritated by that. You're
Someone on a
pals with
diet.
Ellie Pear, aren't you? Yeah, with the chips. Yeah.
And her leftover, what is it? Lonely Hearts Club. So she's matching up people who say they don't have leftovers with people who do.
Oh,
Yeah, isn't that a lovely idea?
that's so sweet.
So there we go.
that.
So it looks all right. I mean, do you know what? That's all right. We've got the wine list coming up later on.
All right, well, don't get it.
But
don't get
no,
involved.
but this is one of my irks, is when you make a pie and you really fill it, and then you bake it and you cut it in half, and it's got that.
Yeah, but it's a day old as well. Don't remember it's
No, I
sunk a
know.
little
But do you
bit.
know what I
We've
mean?
all
When you kind
sunk
of
a
go,
little bit.
I've got a problem with pies, haven't I? Anyway, look, here we go.
Yeah, of course.
So here's the potato
No
dauphinoise.
allergies?
No.
Great.
All right, let's have a
say no,
taste of it, see what it's like. It's going to be quite stodgy, but then right, isn't it?
Oh, is that nutmeg in there?
Yeah.
I love nutmeg. People get really weirded out about nutmeg.
That's so good. So, you know,
I mean,
like my husband's a northerner. As far as he's concerned, anything can be a sandwich. Like and they would serve bread with every meal. But he feels the same way about pastry. Like pastry is just makes everything good.
Yeah.
It makes everything good. So that's why it works so well with leftovers. Make more so you've got leftovers.
Yeah, yeah.
And then make a pie.
Yeah.
Or a sandwich.
I think that needs salt.
It does need a bit of seasoning.
Need
Yeah.
salt. Oh, sorry, everyone.
That's all right. Well, mine's going to be probably too over salty.
It's so good.
So I've gone down. I just wanted to caveat this. That this is from the 30th of December 2024.
Did it come out of the freezer?
No, it's been in the fridge. But
I don't believe in that kind of stuff.
No, well, it says used by, and I was just like, I looked at the thing. I'm talking about chemicals. That's why I laughed, because I was reading it. I was trying to figure out what would go off and make us ill. So I've already eaten some, and I've given it 12 hours, and I'm not ill. So
I've got an iron institution.
Sorry, 1 minute. So this is how far past the
a good month.
Thank you. Well,
past the use by or best before?
Yeah.
what is it?
Used by. Used by.
It's got fennel.
Yeah.
My
So
favourite thing in the world.
so all I've done.
These are very pretty.
Thanks, mate. Did them this morning. So all I did was cut out a circle with a bowl, and then I had some chorizo sausages from Aldi Doody. And then again, when we went back to squeezing them out of the skin just was non-existent. So I just mushed it all in there, folded it over, egg wash, bit of fennel seeds,
Kind of like
out-of-date
a
pastry.
a sort of baby pasty.
Like an empanada. I was
Oh,
sort of like,
yes.
yeah, going down the empanada. I looked at the pictures on the front, stressed this morning, going, I'll recreate that. Look at that. So yeah, if we all get sick, don't worry. It was
This
my
looks
fault.
delicious. I've done a little cross section, so I wanted to have a look.
Yeah, pulled my sausage out.
Oh my
Saying
God,
about
so good.
empanadas, I was reading on the train up. I was reading about Cornish pasties, and Cornish pasties, empanadas, and things in other countries and so on like that have all come, or most of them have come from Cornish miners when the tin mining industry started, disappearing. Those miners travelling all around the world and taking the and things like this and Jamaican patties and all sorts are supposedly from
Because they had
Cornwall.
the big crumb, didn't they? The big pinch
To hold.
to
so they
hold,
didn't get coal on
grubby.
it.
Yeah. And the other one, I think we've spoken about it before, was where there was a whole cake batter stuffed inside a puffin, which was the other one.
puffin?
A puffin, yeah. Stuffed inside a puffin. It was up in like the
Did
Nordic
the puffin
somewhere.
know about this?
Well, he does now, yeah. And then they used to tie it with a bit of string and tie it to their waist, and then they would have this like cake batter that they would pull out and then strip little bits of the stuffed puffin off and get involved.
This is really delicious.
That's really nice.
But that was 2 ingredients, basically. The pastry and a sausage had already done all the work, and then you're in.
And I love the way that the chorizo oil has coloured the pastry, but also made it even crispier. And so good.
You can have that one. Have you done that before? Sausage,
I haven't-
chorizo sausage.
I mean, in a
bacon?
way, that's a sausage roll.
Yeah.
It is.
Isn't it? But with a kind of Vulcan sort of forehead print.
I was wondering where you were going with
Yeah.
that.
And not Vulcan, Klingon.
Hang on.
Klingon.
Sorry.
No, you're
Vulcan's
trash.
got pointy.
Showing your age
Vulcan
again.
ears there.
It's beautiful, and
lovely.
you're right.
Well, there's a lot of
and
pastry
you
on the
say
table.
sausage roll. Like, I mean, everyone loves the sausage roll.
Yeah.
Even the veggie sausage roll is good.
I would highly recommend that you
Ginger pig.
try the ginger pig sausage roll from
I
Puzzle.
have
You've probably
tried.
already
Yeah,
had
they
one.
are
Yeah.
very good.
I
They're
mean,
like that big, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
where's
yeah.
the pastry? But it's so good. They're about
Yeah.
I think they put. I think there's animal fat in their pastry, not butter. I think it's just like dripping or something. They're so.
We don't have to keep this in, but also, how do they cook? How do they keep its shape? Because I've tried to do that. Do they cut it first and lay them down flat and cook them flat?
I would say
because
so.
or do they cook it in one massive one
No.
and then cut?
I think they must cut them individually because the ends look.
Oh yeah,
caramelized.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to do it when we used to do big events. We used to do sausage rolls as like a little canapé, and we used to like freeze them in whole logs, then cut them so they were nice and perfect, and then bake them, and then yum yums.
Yeah.
I've always kind of thought that a sausage roll is essentially a pork mince Wellington,
It is.
Oh,
isn't it? Though you know what I mean. It's like tiny pork mince Wellington. You want to dress it up.
well,
Like,
talking
you know.
about Wellingtons, that's what a big old pastry thing, isn't it? The Wellington is the ultimate in, let's say, pastry meaty cooking skill.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. You
Have you
need
done one?
a bit of skill.
I've never done one.
No.
Have you?
I've never done one.
Have
Do
you
you
ever
know?
done one?
Do you know why it's called a beef Wellington?
It's got something to do with the Duke of Wellington.
That's what everyone thinks.
No.
And apparently, no, not at all. It is literally because it looks like a Wellington.
Or it feels like
but
a Wellington.
It doesn't look like a Wellington, really. I mean, I think because it's glazed and it's shiny brown, but yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, that's what I read on the train up this morning as well. When I was doing
I've made many a veggie Wellington because you don't have to worry so much about getting the perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
what goes into it? Do you have
anything? My kind of tip, even for a sausage roll, is a packet of stuffing. Like Paxo, just mix it in with the sausage meat or like the veggie sausage meat, and it just tastes of Christmas. Basically.
Yeah, that's what I did when we did the smorgasbord.
Yes,
I did stuffing, and then I did rice, and then I did butternut squash, and then just mushed it all together, and then off she goes.
Yeah,
stuffing's a great ingredient.
Love stuffing.
We did a whole episode on stuffing.
I listened to that. I heard that one.
Listeners,
this
go back to that.
Delicious. Can I just tell you how happy I am? Like I have listened to your podcast, for a few weeks, and 15 weeks, and
is it that many?
Yeah, and just to be part of it is so lovely. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's lovely. It's lovely to have you.
You know when we used to watch the particularly the cookery shows, and they would always get the food out at the end, and you wish you could try it. And this feels like, oh my god,